आपकी आवाज
बाहर कुर्सी ले सकता भाई, कुर्सी ले सकता
Hello. Yeah, you just join. If just join. No, it has started. You just enter now. We have started. No. That is different. One minute. I'll again send. You just check your this one. You just check your this one. What is it called?
Sir, very good evening. Look forward to listen to you, sir.
Let it begin.
Thank you, sir.
Professor Pelosi.
Hello.
Hello, Dr. Dash. How are you? Nice to see you. Nice to see you.
How are you?
I am fine. Thank you very much. And we are so honored that you are here for honoring a lesson of Indian medical science, a great teacher of all of us. So we are honoring him today on behalf of the UNESCO.
Yes, I read all the curriculum.
Yes.
It's also on the Google.
Yes. I will just waiting for the Dr. Gustavo and other to join. And just, I think another 5 minutes they'll be joining because some are having issue of the connectivity and timings.
Yes, perfect.
Right.
I will leave you around after 40-45 minutes because there was an overlap with all this.
No, you don't worry. You don't worry that we'll call you to interact with Professor Patil earlier. I'm just waiting to start, and another 6 minutes is there from the time schedule. So I hope by the time Professor Mubashiri. Professor Mubashiri? Professor Mubashiri joined? Professor Mubashiri from Tehran?
Yes, hello and good afternoon to you, Professor Das.
Very good afternoon. Very good afternoon. Nice to see you. I think you got the right one, no? Right link now.
Yes, I had a different link, so I was trying to go through that, but it didn't work. I would like to thank you and say hello to Professor Pelosi, Professor Shankar, Professor Mular, and others that Professor Mudhol too. Thank you very much.
And Professor, our former Vice Chancellor, Professor B.G. Mulibuni sir also joined.
Right.
Yes. And
hello.
And the legend Dr. P.S. Shankar is already there. And all guests, I'm just checking because it's a big schedule. So I have to go through it. And Professor Pelosi has some work after 45 minutes. So I will allow him to finish first with the interaction. So I'm just checking, and other people have already joined. Today's guest, Dr. Nitin, is joined. He's also one of the program associate.
And the Zoom connection is always perfect. It's the best link. The others sometimes they use other, but for me Zoom is always.
Yes, in Italy I think it's very popular.
It's easy. It's very easy popular. And always working.
This is one of the advantages of COVID.
Professor P.S. Shankar.
Some of others, you have to be
COVID.
Graduated in three graduation in engineering. If you but Zoom, at least for me, is.
I mean, just call Dr. Gustavo also. Hope he has got up from the bed. Professor Gustavo. Yeah, join, no? Yes.
Good morning, good morning. I am
good morning.
Hello. We are here in the afternoon.
Hello, dear Professor Shankar.
Yeah.
A great honor, a great honor.
Thank you.
You know, it's 6:30 in the morning, so I am uncombing myself right now.
No, but you are looking very fresh. And Professor Pelosi has joined.
Oh, good. Hello, my dear Paolo. It's wonderful to see you.
Good, good.
Good.
The first paper appeared today.
What's that?
Our first paper appeared today.
Yeah, is it on?
Yes, yes.
Congratulations! What a fantastic work! Fantastic paper. I think it will be of great interest.
Yeah. Because we worked for all our friends, we worked together for COVID with new ideas, and we have 2-3 projects ongoing, and one was finalized, and then we are going to the second, and yes, a very good collaboration with Gustavo.
Excellent. Yes, yes. With Paolo, it's really great to have you here. I think Professor Shankar will enjoy this meeting greatly with such high level people.
Yeah,
Just a minute. Yes, Jorge Ordenes is calling. Just a minute. Good morning.
Hello, Professor Mubashiri. Professor Mubashiri.
Yes, I don't know what happened, but for some reason I was disconnected.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, can you just contact Professor Idipetian? because I have given contact. He has not responded now because he has already difficulty
Right.
entering into Zoom. Just try.
Okay.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Good
Ramesh,
afternoon,
okay.
Professor Ramesh. Dr. Ramesh, good afternoon. Yeah, nice to see you here, and we are honored that you are here. And Professor Ayappan, sir, just to
Yes,
Yeah, he'll be joining.
they joined.
Namaste, namaste.
Namaste, sir. Good, sir. Very good
Namaste.
afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, good morning, everything.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Our Honorable Vice Chancellor joined. Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir. Professor Aris Mudhol, sir. Are you here?
Yes, Mudhol, I saw the name.
But sir, it's there or not? Just because it's just 4.
Dr. Shankar, sir, namaskara.
Namaskara.
Namaskar, Ramesh Avare.
Professor,
Many,
sir,
many sir is
namaskar.
already here. Already joined, sir. Joined. Dr. Shangram brother, you have joined? Dr. Brother?
Yes, sir. I'm there.
Yeah, Professor Shireen from University of Colombo.
I'm here.
Oh,
Good
Professor.
afternoon. Yeah, good evening.
Good afternoon. Yeah, different zone there.
Yeah,
Some are afternoon, some are morning, some are evening. Yes, Dr. Lata.
Hello, Professor Muliman.
Fine.
Mulimani, good to see you again.
It's a great pleasure to hear you, see you often and often. Wonderful. Thank you.
Nice, so nice.
Professor Gustavo, Professor Carmoni, Professor Carmona, just to try.
I'm trying. I'm right now. I'm with Dr. Ordenes. I suppose he has joined. Has Dr. Ordenes joined?
Dr. Ordenes has joined. Dr. Ordenes from Washington. Dr. Ordenes. No, not yet.
Not yet.
Gustavo,
Okay.
not yet. You just try to. Dr.
Okay.
Carmona. Dr. Carmona is just joined.
Hello, Dr. Gustavo. How are you?
Yeah,
Hamid, my dear Hamid.
Dr. Gustavo,
Wonderful to see you.
Dr. Ordinance has
Me
joined.
too.
Dr. Ordinance has joined.
Oh, good. Okay. So let me get Carmona now. Hello, Jorge. Dr. Jorge Ordenes. Are you online?
So you just woke up and you were with your suit, huh?
Yes, I put on my suit right away. Yes.
He slept also like that, I hope.
Well, Dr. Kusal Das is keeping me awake every morning.
I think Dr. Ordinance,
Yesterday.
Dr. Ordinance is here, Professor Dr. Ordinance.
Namaskar, Kushal.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Dr. Ordinance is here.
Dr. Ordinance.
Querido Jorge.
What is the name? Jorge Ordinance.
Jorge Ordenes.
Jorge Ordinance. Join, no? I did not coming to my name.
Oh, he's there. Yes. Jorge.
No, fine. And
okay, he's there.
Because we want to start now.
To cámara, por favor, Jorge.
Just to, I request Professor Dr. Mubashiri to in touch with the UNESCO shareholder, our leader, Professor Iripetian, who has already having problem to join with the Zoom.
Okay.
And Dr. Mubashiri, what about the Professor Farod? Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Aris Muthal sir has joined.
Yeah, I am with you.
Sir, thank you very much. Now we can start now. I think that just almost most of them have joined and some may be joining in the time zone. So different time zones. So we'll start. Here is our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Mulimani sir, Shankar sir,
Namaskara.
Professor Mubashiri, all my dignitaries.
Yeah, Professor Horke.
Hello everyone.
Yeah.
The BLDE University.
Respected Professor Ordonez from Washington. Sir, respected Professor Ordonez. Oh.
Hello, Dr. Ordonez. Good morning. Welcome.
Good to see you guys. Nice to be here.
Thank you very much. I will, without delay, now we'll start the program. And one of the patrons has already come. So first of all, I'd like to welcome all of you today in a great gathering. It's just an interactive session. There'll be no lecture, nothing talk, only interaction with each of these stalwarts in their own life, with a legend of Indian medical sciences, Professor Dr. P.S. Shankar. So Professor Dr. Shankar, I welcome you first.
Thank you.
I welcome today's two patrons, Professor Sinuri Kairipatel, UNESCO chairholder in life sciences, who is in touch now in Dr. Professor Mubashir is handing him. And next is Professor S. Ayappan, the Chancellor of Central Agriculture University and Chairman of KSTA. Welcome, sir, Professor Ayappan, sir. Pranam,
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning to everybody. Good morning. Good
Pranam, sir.
Namaskar.
Yeah. I welcome today Professor R.S. Mudhol, Chief Guest of today's function, Honorable Vice Chancellor of BLDE deemed to be University. Sir, you are welcome here, sir. We are honored.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I welcome today's President of the function, Professor B.G. Mulimuni, was the former Vice Chancellor of Gulbarga University and BLDE University and member of the KST and BGST. Welcome, Professor B.G. Mulimuni, sir, who is my mentor. Who is my mentor too. Thank you, sir. And today's coordinator, Dr. Gustavo Zubieta. Professor Dr. Gustavo Zubieta, today's coordinator and the architect behind me and the main support behind me from the Bolivia, La Paz. He is here. Welcome, Professor Dr. Gustavo Zubieta, a renowned pulmonologist and a physiologist of your own, this one, stature. You are welcome.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kusal. Delighted to be present in such a distinguished event.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I welcome today's all guests of honors. I start with the Dean of Faculty of Medicine, Professor Dr. Arvind B. Patil, Dean of Faculty of Medicine. Professor Arvind B. Patil, Dean of Faculty of Medicine, you are welcome here in this lesson. You are here, sir? Okay, he has not yet joined. Okay, I welcome the distinguished professor and a renowned anesthesiologist, Professor of Anesthesiology and Critical Care Management of University of Genoa, Faculty of Medicine, and also the former president of European Pharmacological Society, Professor Paolo Pelosi. Professor Paolo Pelosi from Genoa.
Thank you very much. It's a great honor to be with you here virtually.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I welcome Professor Hamid Mubashiri, Professor of Biophysics of Faculty of Medicine, University of Tehran, one of the UNESCO stalwarts in this region, an Asian region. Professor Hamid Mubashiri, who is my right hand, like Professor Gustavo. Professor Mubashiri, you are welcome here, sir. Okay, Professor Mubashiri, I think he's trying to get UNESCO chair. Thank you. And I welcome Horke Ordonez. Sir, you are from the Washington, a renowned economist, former International Monetary Fund's executive, and a renowned literature laureate. Like Dr. P.S. Shankar is also literature laureate. You are here, sir. You are very much welcome here, sir. We are honored of your presence, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Kusar. Yes, I am very glad to be here. I think the ceremony that we are about to start is very meritorious and it's unique and it's also well deserved.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, Professor Horke Ordonez. Professor Jose Antonio Carmona, he's supposed to join from Mexico City. His mother is very serious, but I think Professor Gustavo will manage. He will bring him. That's the last assurance I got today morning. So, and the Professor Dariush Farod, Professor Mubashiri will bring him from University. So he's from the Tehran. He's the UNESCO chair of bioethics and one of the legendary figure of the medical sciences and the bioethical sciences in the world. So Professor Farod is also welcome. I welcome Professor Sharin Fernando, former Dean of Faculty of Medicine, University of Vijayapura, and now Professor of Physiology and Head of University of Vijayapura. Professor Sharin Fernando from Colombo. You are welcome, ma'am. You are very much welcome, your presence. Madam, you're here?
Yeah.
Are you here? Yeah. Madam, you might have muted. Please unmute.
Yeah, sorry.
Right? Yeah, because I want to listen all my guests. I welcome.
Good evening to all of you.
Very good evening, madam. Very good evening. And I welcome Dr. A.M. Ramesh, Chief Executive Officer of KSTA, Government of Karnataka. Dr. Ramesh, please accept our very much gratitude that you are here with us in this occasion. I welcome my best friend, Dr. Sangram Biradar, Professor of Medicine, University, that is Gulbarga, from MRMC Medical College, and a renowned physician of medicine, and a student of Dr. P.S. Shankar here. Dr. Sangram Biradar, you are welcome here.
Thank you, sir, and thank you.
And I welcome Dr. Tejaswini Vallabha. Professor Vallabha is a professor of surgery of BLDE University and also former vice principal and dean of faculty of allied health sciences, and a student of Professor P.S. Shankar. Madam, you are very much welcome. We are honored of your presence, madam.
My pranam to all my teachers there.
Yes. And I welcome two of my students. One student is my PhD scholar, former PhD scholar, now Professor of Physiology, Dr. Lata Mullur. Dr. Lata Mullur, you are welcome here. We are honored that you are here with us. You accepted our invitation.
Thank you so much, sir. Namaste to all dignitaries. Namaste, sir.
Thank you very much. I welcome Dr. Nitin Agarwal, one of my former students whom I taught medicine in undergraduate. Dr. Nitin Agarwal is a medicine specialist and internal medicine expert. Dr. Nitin, are you here?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. You are welcome. Very much welcome here.
Good afternoon to all, and it is an honor, sir. Thank you. Thank you for inviting.
Thank you very much. So without delay, I like to start the curriculum today. First, I invite, Dr. Gustavo, any news?
No news from Dr. Carmona. And you know, he called me last night at 11:30 and said, I'm going to be ready. So I think he fell asleep. I'm terribly sorry. I keep calling him.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Gustavo.
And I see Professor Sinerik just arrived.
No, yes, arrived?
Yes.
Professor Sinerik. Professor Sinerik, I repeat, Professor
No
Sinerik.
microphone. Your microphone.
Professor Sinerik. Good morning. Professor Sinerik Iripetian, renowned biophysicist and UNESCO chairholder in life sciences, biophysics, biotechnology, and environmental health, under which I am working, Dr. Mubashiri working, Gustavo, we all work under him. So Professor Sinerik is here, one of the distinguished legendary scientists and a student of Bernard Kaj, of Nobel laureate from UCL London. Professor Sinerik, we are very much happy to see you because you are the host actually. I'm doing on behalf of. And,
I have problem with it. Yes.
Yes. And today we have the guest list you have seen. Our president of the function is Professor B.G. Mulimani, former vice chancellor of the BLDE University, as well as the KSTA chairman of the member of the KSTA. Our next, our honorable vice chancellor, Professor R.S. Mudhol sir is also already here of BLDE University. He is here as a chief guest today. But the second patron, Dr. Professor S. Ayappan, the Chancellor of Central Agriculture University, and also the chairman of KST is also here. I now ask Professor B.G. Mulimani sir, please accept our request to be chair of the today's session. It is virtually. Professor B.G. Mulimani sir, please you accept that today's
great honor. I consider it.
Yes.
With all the pleasure. I accept to be the president of today's wonderful interaction with so many greats from all over the world to pay tribute.
Thank you.
Our great friend and great teacher, P.S. Shankar. Please go ahead and take it over.
Yes, thank you very much. With your permission, chief guest is already arrived and our two patrons are there, all guests of honor are there. Our coordinator, Dr. Gustavo, is already there. So I'd like to start the program now with your permission. And the program will be like that I'll be going on calling the name. It will be first, it will be the introduction to today's lesson, Dr. P.S. Shankar by Dr. Tejaswini Vallabha. She will do it. And then followed by, I will ask one by one guests today, and I will see the priority because some are having to go early because it's different time. I will call them early. So it is not actually intentionally breaking the protocol. It is just because of the time need and time zone of different part. And then obviously all of you will be having interacting and talk about your own work, your interest, passion for 3 to 4 minutes. You just spend with Professor P.S. Shankar and share with him. And then it will be concluded by Dr. P.S. Shankar's own remark and followed by presidential remark of Professor B.G. Modi sir. That's the program at a nutshell. I request the coordinator to do whatever the time of intervention, you can just intervene to me and you can do it accordingly. So coordinator Dr. Gustavo Zubieta, please you will take care of these ones. So first, after welcoming my guests and all, first I request Dr. Tejashwini Vallabha to introduce today's legend, Dr. P.S. Shankar. And this will be the first program of today.
Okay,
over to Dr. Tejashwini.
Sir, am I audible and clear?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Sir, you have given me a tough job by requesting me to describe the sun god. For us, MRMCNs, you know what he is. So it's a tough job for us. And with whole heart and privilege and respect, my pranam to all the seniors who have really done some wonderful path to us so that we are so comfortable. Because of you people, we are something here. Thank you so much, sir. Just to start with a very, very brief introduction of sir, which is very difficult as again I tell. Sir has been a professor of medicine for 60 years and we are here to commemorate that. And an administrator of different medical colleges as a principal, dean, director over more than 3 decades. And believe us, he has been author and editor for more than 240 books and chapters and different scientific publications, both in English and Kannada, including the medical encyclopedia, which is one of the most difficult tasks, and an English medical dictionary and Kannada into science dictionary. Sir began his career as a teacher in the Bangalore Medical College in 1962. He has spent his whole lifetime taking care of people like us from the Kalyan, Karnataka, which was much significantly behind, and improving the overall medical education scenario in that area. And definitely we acknowledge, sir, because of you, Gulbarga or Kalburgi, what we call, is in the national map. We owe it to you, sir. He has learned significant original work in the field of tuberculosis, then pulmonary, lung cancer, diazinon poisoning, pellagra, and bronchial asthma, and many more. He is a recipient of B.C. Roy Award, which is one of the highest awards in India, twice. It's not a simple achievement. We know what it means. And an honorary doctorate from 5 universities, including 2 state health universities, which acknowledges his achievement and contribution to the medical field as an individual. Sometimes I wonder, he is a walking institution where probably unitedly 300-400 of us, we are unable to deliver. He has done at his own level, individually, consistently, and dutifully, believing that it is his duty throughout his life there. Sir is a recipient of Rockefeller Scholar in Residence by Bellagio, Italy, and Sovietland Nehru Award, Commonwealth Medical Fellowships, Science Communicator Award from the Government of India, Rajyotsava Award, and Vishwesvaraya Senior Scientist Award, Senior Citizens of Award from Karnataka, and also Rajyotsava Award, and many more lifetime achievements from the National College of Chest Physicians, Indian Chest Society, Geriatric Society of India, Karnataka Science and Technology Academy, where he has been a significant contributor, Vishwamanav Award and Visari Awards. He was first to be recognized as the Emeritus Professor from our respected Rajiv Gandhi University, which aptly described Sir as an incredibly versatile, larger than life personality. Yes. Further, he tells that he is an eminent teacher, an erudite scholar, renowned researcher, accomplished clinician, able administrator, well-known literator, and a distinguished lexicographer. Yes, he definitely carries all these crowns without any burden, and we are really proud of him, sir. There's a lot to learn from each one of every component of yours. Sir has been a science, the former dean of the KJ Somaya Medical College, in addition to the MR Medical College there, and also senior education advisor for many reputed hospitals in the Maharashtra and Karnataka, where he is their guiding force, which are delivering very good health services throughout in this area. In addition to that, apart from his scientific contribution and also the literary contribution to the Karnataka Vaidya Sahitya Parishad, where he is one of the most important pillars there, which has contributed greatly to the medical science literature in Kannada and bringing the health awareness, simple science to the doors of the common people of Karnataka, through which he has made a significant revolution to the common people by making them understand what is science, what is health, and how simple he has made it. It becomes so easy for people to understand, and I think that is one of the biggest things which we should learn as whatever we call ourselves as teachers, making things so simple that people start feeling, yes, it can be to follow. As a teacher, we have seen him being a most disciplined teacher, and I still remember probably 30,000-40,000 of us might have studied under him. He remembers us by our name, our profession, our family, our achievements, and he gives us the same respect what probably anyone would receive. I think that is one of the greatest achievements of being an MRMNCN. In addition to that, sir has never forgotten his social commitments. There is a foundation in sir's name, which has been functioning for more than 20 years now. He has been providing financial support to the backward students, especially the meritorious students from the different areas of Karnataka who have studied in Kannada medium and need financial support. At present, they are supporting more than 10 children through this foundation, which provides practically sufficient financial support for more than 5.5 years of their studies. He honors through this foundation the achievements of the doctors who have contributed to the society through health services, and also who have contributed to the Vaidya Sahitya in many more factors. He has been continuously editing the journal of the Karnataka Science and Education Technology for last 15 years, which is not a small. And at the same time, he has been, in addition to that, he has served as academic councils of different universities, both medical and non-medical, in different positions as academic council member and guiding force, and also support to the academic achievement of these universities. He was also on the governing board of the National Board of Examinations, and in addition to his academic commitments, he has also served in different health services and also provided sufficient healthcare to the people who suffered from earthquakes in Latur and Bhuj then long back. And he is actively involved in the science activities of the Karnataka state by serving in the Vision Group of Science and Technology of the Karnataka, and also Rajya Vignan Sahitya Parishad, Karnataka State Council for Science and Technology. He was also the president of Vaidya Sahitya Parishad, organized by Rajiv Gandhi as a part of its Silver Jubilee celebrations. And again, as I tell, in addition to his contribution as an individual, sir has been a guiding force, mentor, financial support, and a great moral support to most of his students, and also children who do not have studied directly under him, but definitely acknowledge his services to them as their mentor. I think I know that the biography of this introduction to sir is very, very minimal. I'll request maybe one more session exclusively to just tell and enumerate what sir has done. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your contribution, and also on behalf of all the students of you, we are greatly honored and privileged by listening to your achievements, sir. And we all pray that from our side, from our students, that you live long and bless us continuously. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Tejashini. As a student of Professor P.S. Shankar, you have given a tribute to him with a respect and rigors. Not only you have read his bio sketch, that is too small.
Yes,
too small than his larger than his life. So anyway, so thank you very much, Dr. Tejashini, be with us. And now I request the UNESCO chairholder, Life Sciences, Professor S. I.D. Patil. Professor I.D. Patil, please you speak a few words, around 3 to 4 minutes on whatever your life, because you are also a legendary person, almost near to the same age group, and you have shown the whole world and the science that how to promote. We are today connected because of you from the different part of the world, different part of the hemisphere. So please, your remark on Professor P.S. Shankar will be the befitting tribute today in this occasion. Professor S. I. Patil, UNESCO Chair.
Oh, hello everyone. Unfortunately, now we are very hard situation in the world, not only because coronavirus and big international virus also, as is coming from wrong politics from USA and other crazy leaders who fighting, who making non-humanitarian activity in the world. And now Armenia, which is a neighbor with Russia, is also unhappy because now, in spite that we must concentrate our activity to solve public health problem, and now we are worried about many people in Ukraine unhappy. So I think that we must activate our collaboration in education and research collaboration, because only this can be effective tool for develop friendship between different countries, different scientists, because really, if education, we will use education as a powerful tool for promotion of friendship between different countries. And I thank you, the distinguished scientist Kusal, who is extremely high activity to develop collaboration between different organizations, not only Indian universities, and in the organization friendship between different countries. And I would like ask, like as an appeal, to make all our friends concentrate, develop our friendship, because only by this way people can be happy, and even crazy people will follow us if we will increase educational level in different countries, because educational people cannot kill each others, and because life is so short, and independently political and the religion system, people, especially life scientists, must develop friendship and collaboration in this. And thank you, Professor Kusal, for your activity. And main purpose of UNESCO politics to develop cultural and educational system in the world, and this used as a tool for developing friendship between different countries. Thank you for your activity. I hope that soon we will have possibility to meet with you in different country and await all of this coronavirus and crazy virus of peoples. Thank you for attention.
Thank you very much for your words about the UNESCO's philosophy and teaching, which is actually we always try to carry forward throughout the world. And thank you very much for your gracious presence and honoring Professor P.H. Shankar on behalf of the UNESCO Chair Life Sciences to him. So Professor Shankar is here. So thank you very much for all. Professor Professor Pelosi, how much time you are having now? Professor Pelosi?
Your microphone.
Yes.
How many times? Because I want to invite the two people.
I have now 10 minutes because then I have to have a meeting in the hospital.
Okay, what I will do, I will just finish the patron part. So I will request Professor S. Ayappan. Professor S. Ayappan sir,
Okay, thank you.
Please speak a few words.
Thank you, Dr. Das. Thank you very much. Greetings and salutations to the legend, Professor Dr. P.S. Shankar, the president of today's program, Professor B.G. Mulimani, the chief guest, Dr. R.S. Mudol, and today, as we have said, a galaxy of people from around the globe. And then also my colleague at the KSA, Dr. Ramesh, and everybody, and Dr. Kushal Das, who has asked us to be here. To each one of you, grateful. I'll not take much time. We are celebrating the Diamond Jubilee of services of the legend of our own times, Professor Dr. P.S. Shankar, a doctor par excellence, an administrator without any parallels, a humanitarian. So that we are a giant humanitarian amidst us, a poet, a literary figure, and I can go on, and such a combination to see amidst us. Esteemed friends from around the globe. We are from the state of Karnataka in the country in India, in the southern India, and we are so proud that Dr. P.S. Shankar is with us in this state. And I can go on, as was introduced, author of hundreds of books and thousands of articles, and a friend, philosopher, guide, mentor to thousands, maybe a lakh of it's a million in English, millions of people. And then he has taught medicine, he has taught life to people. And then we all, young and old, we remember him so fondly that Dr. P.S. Shankar is with us, and that's the strength of science for society in this country and in this state. Let me tell you, he has been editing a science bi-monthly for decades now, and every time on time, and it is one of the most sought after science weekly in the whole country. So on all these counts, I do not know how I can offer my salutations, heartfelt, from the Karnataka Science Technology Academy, from my own behalf, from the audience, who are a large number of students, doctors, and the general public. Each one remembers this tall figure, Dr. P.S. Shankar, for his 60 years of service, not the age, 60 years of service. Our prayer today is he should complete a century of service.
Yes.
Not the age, a century of service to science, to the field of medicine. Such an he would be in one of the royal societies, or sometime he would be in a primary health center, sometime he would be in a middle school, sometime he would be in the journalist meeting sometime. So he is there all over. And Dr. P.S. Shankar sir, because of lack of time, I cannot take more time, but our heartfelt gratitude, thanks and salutations, and our prayers, as I said, for century of your contributions to science and society in this country and in this world. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
So thank you very much, Professor Ayappan sir. Your very important and valuable words towards Professor P.S. Shankar has enriched all of us and we understood. And I hope Professor so I hope that everybody understood that how important today's occasion is to celebrate 60 years of working stature of Professor P.S. Shankar. So thank you very much, Professor Ayappan sir, your kind presence here and grace the occasion today. It's a remarkable. So our two patrons are over. With the permission of President and Chief Guest sir, Professor R.S. Mudol sir and Professor B.G. Mulimani sir, I want to allow Professor Paolo Pelosi, the guest of honor today, to interact with Professor P.S. Shankar.
Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure for me to honor Professor Shankar. I followed his impressive curriculum, and I can share some few things with him. First of all, I noticed that Professor Shankar was involved in clinical activity, in research, and in teaching, that I think are the three pillars of our activity. And I was very much impressed by the fact that he also published book in some kind of languages that I learned are very old, 5th, 4th century, for people that they speak some minority kind type of language. And this for me was very impressive, because sometimes, independently from the country where we do live, we don't take attention to these very important, very specific and particular things. From the language to our colleagues, I think that we should expand our teaching activities, not only in our local universities or relationship among academics or people in the congresses, but also to many colleagues that they have less opportunities in whatever country they live to have some update, and training and education. That's why I think that the role of education, but also the role of the education focused in hospital, in colleagues, in areas which sometimes are more difficult to be reached, is very important. And I would like just to have just few words from Professor Shankar. What's your feeling of the future of teaching, of education in all countries, but as for young people, but especially in some more difficult areas of the world that you were particularly dedicated?
Professor Shankar, sir.
Microphone, please. Your microphone. Please turn on your microphone, Professor Shankar.
Microphone on.
Okay, perfect. Yes, we hear you now. We hear you now.
So the teaching itself is taking a change. In earlier days, what we used to do a blackboard teaching. Now things have changed, and we have with the slides a PowerPoint presentation, and we can do it everything very well. But earlier we used to write on blackboard and whatever the points which we would tell. And now the things have changed and people have access to, through the various media, they can get the information. But whatever information may be, but the teacher can't be changed. Teacher has to be there. A mentor has to be there to guide the students. So they have got all the time value. So the teacher will never vanish. So teacher is also a student, because to teach the student, he has to keep abreast with the developments which are taking place in the diagnostic arena, in the treatment field. So the teacher is ever ready and like washing the vessel, keeping it clean, light, and the teacher has to guide the student. And he can definitely mold the student very well, because often students will tell, we were like a stone and the teacher made him either like an idol. So the teacher has got a great role in any coming days or centuries.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Pelosi. Professor Pelosi, for your nice questions, and Professor P.S. Shankar, very wise responses which will benefit all of us. Professor Pelosi, we are really honored that you are with us in spite of your tight schedule, because you are the head of the critical care management as an anesthesiologist. So in a part of it, I know your work schedule and research. So it's you have given the time. We are honored. If you're able to finish the meeting, again you rejoin. But
absolutely,
yeah,
we will rejoin again. Great congratulations to Professor Shankar. That I was really impressed.
When I was asked who I could invite to honor Professor Shankar, I thought I should select one of the most distinguished intensive care persons in Italy. But not only in Italy, also around the globe. So this is Paolo Pelosi. But also he's an extraordinary man. You know, he has a saying: right after he finishes one paper, he doesn't rest. He says, on to the next.
Yes. Also to Professor Shankar, always to the next.
Yes.
Ciao.
So,
I will try to
many
rejoin.
years from now, we will be honoring Paolo Pelosi in the same way.
yes. Same honor.
It would be a fantastic honor.
See you. Come back, Paolo. Come back.
Ciao. Ciao.
Thank you, Professor Paulo. And I request the Honorable Vice Chancellor and today's chief guest, sir, you please interact. Professor R.S. Mudal is a renowned ENT surgeon. He is a professor of otolaryngology or ENT. He's a good administrator also. His reputation, specifically the field of ENT, is remarkable because he has invented many methods and models for ENT surgery that has actually changed the history. He's a great researcher in this regard. And his administrative skill was so perfect and wise that in his leadership in the KL University, one of the very reputed university of India, has reached to his peak in the medical education and also the service. Here is Dr. R.S. Mudal, sir. Professor R.S. Mudal, currently the Vice Chancellor of BLDE deemed to be University. Sir.
Thank you very much, Kushal Das. And my salutes to great teacher, P.S. Shankar, sir, and all the stalwarts, B.G. Mulimani, sir, Ayappan, and all my veterans of the western part. First of all, I would like to congratulate Professor Kushal Das arranging such a tribute to the legendary teacher, Dr. P.S. Shankar. It is very apt that you have called all the people from all the hemispheres of the world. It is a really rich tribute, I think, to legendary teacher. I know Shankar sir is one of the hallmark of the medical science, and he is a medical teacher, and he can match with the blackboard to the most powerful PPT also. That's what he's always contemporary thinking, and that has helped the students very well. He as a medical administrator, has a dean in the different colleges, has a head of department, and a dean of the Karnataka University also, dean of medical fraternity. He has represented, made a lot of policies, which is today helping the lot of students in all the colleges. And I remember aptly Professor Shankar sir in the Gulbarga, Professor Sangab Desai in the Belgavi, Professor Gurpadappa in Davanagere, Professor N.K. Chennappa in KMC Hubli, were the legendary stalwarts, clinical physicians, and also the very good role model teachers. They are role models also, they are role models. And he is one of them and matches with everybody. And he is a medical literate also. Lot of books you have heard from Dr. Tejashwini and other people. He has brought the medical science to the scientists also, to the teachers also, to the researchers also, to the common people. Simple elements about tuberculosis, malaria, and other things he has brought to the common people who can understand simple things and who can follow. And he is a social obligator, and through his foundation, lot of social work he has done. And above all, good human being. I remember he is always with the sympathy, empathy to the people, to his students, to his patients. A great quality he has got. Above all, I remember in KL, he used to travel in the red bus whole night, and he used to, morning 9, he used to be ready for the teaching. The great. At this age, anybody is traveling in that mode of thing, and morning is upright, he is ready. And that is a commitment, really. Hats up to you, sir. And the medical field has to see teacher like you. I am doubtful whether we get such a teachers in the future or not. And he is a teacher of teachers. He is a mentor for many, many teachers. And he is guide for many. Not only for the clinical medicine, he is guide for the life also. How he has molded many lives, and he has matched many people, and he has prepared good human beings. And he is lifeline for the patient. Lot of patients in the Gulbarga area, northern Karnataka, you know that Gulbarga, Vijayapura, all these are all drought hit and poverty hit areas. And he has done human service to the poor and needy patients with his all the whatever he can offer, and his touch and his word used to cure the patients. That's what I believe, and he has done that. And this is a very, very rich tribute that Kushal Das, probably if he were to be in WHO, if he were to be in, I think, something, he would have, whole world he would have the maids to join for such programs. And as has been said, one of the patron, that whatever may be the country's relations, political relations, economic relations, knowledge relation has to continue. Knowledge relations, we should become friends. And this is what, this is the now, even though coronavirus is a crazy virus, this virus has brought such a stalwarts through the Zoom meeting online to such functions. Otherwise, it would not have been possible offline to meet such a stalwarts of the world, to give a tribute to our legendary teacher, Dr. Professor P.S. Shankar sir. With this, I think we have to see such a teacher who is a teacher of teachers, teacher emeritus, the professor emeritus, and not only that, he is a medical scientist, teacher. One person having all these qualities, I yet to see people like that. Some are very good teachers, some are very good scientists, some are very good clinicians, but all to see in one person, I think probably rare. He's a rare gem of the medical fraternity. I salute you, sir. Salute from the BLDE University for your human service to the humankind. And I acknowledge all the presence of all the leaders in the science and technology, also the medical science. Thank you very much. It is a rich tribute to our teacher, Professor Shankar. Hats up to him, and also thank Professor Das, doing such a congregation of the people, bringing everybody together to give a very good, befitting the tributes to Professor Shankar sir. Thank you, sir, once again.
Thank you very much, Professor Ares Muthal, Honorable Vice Chancellor of BLDE deemed to be University, sir. Thank you very much. I now request Professor Gustavo Zubieta, the today's coordinator and my right-hand man, because I have a two-man, Professor Gustavo Zubieta, right and left side, I was having Professor Hamid Mobashiri from Tehran, two different parts of the globe. So I will request Professor Gustavo Zubieta, please say a few words and interact with Professor P.S. Shankar, sir. Over to Dr. Zubieta.
Thank you very much, Professor Das. I have to first.
Yeah, I think just now Dr. Gustavo, I just saw Professor Carmona. Professor Carmona
yes, he's here.
Welcome,
he's
Professor
here.
Carmona from
yes,
Mexico
we are
City.
in touch.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Carmona. You are welcome here.
Yes, from Mexico City.
Yeah, Professor Gustavo, go ahead.
I was saying that first of all, I would like to salute Dr. D.R.S. Mudol, the distinguished Vice Chancellor of BLDE. One of my great prides is to be a visiting professor at your university, Dr. Mudol. And I am delighted that I have heard your words and the way you have focused this tribute to Professor Shankar. I am very happy to join this group because India is growing in the right direction. You see, a few years back, they used to talk of the BRIC countries, and that was some of the BRIC countries was Brazil, Russia, India, China, and who had the best future ahead. But what has happened? Brazil has had a lot of difficulties. Fortunately, it's going back in track, but it has a lot of political problems and has some difficulties. Russia, we all know now, Russia is in a mess and creating a mess in the world. So India and China remain. China is also something very special, of course. But India, I have seen personally during all these years, Professor Shankar, how India has progressed. I am very impressed. But India not only has this economic progress that is amazing, but also it has the scientific progress. I have seen how, for instance, at BLDE, there's great progress. The new buildings, there is more research, and people from around the world are integrated with Professor Kushal Das. We share a very close relationship with him, and we collaborate. So, Professor Shankar, this is a very special moment for us. I am so happy to be in touch with you, because I have had a father that was like you. He was a man that was always doing something. Every morning, waking up to do something special. And this event, I think we are honoring you, but I think you have already received all the honors of life by doing the job you were doing, because this can fill our egos when someone congratulates us, but the greatest fulfillment of our lives, I think, is carried out when we are doing things, positive things in life. When I was a visiting professor at the University of Copenhagen in Denmark, I was collaborating with Professor Paul Erik Paulet, and he said when he retired that he called his retirement conference the joy of seeing the light, because it is the joy that you find when you produce something that helps the world. And sometimes the others don't understand your work, but you have felt the joy. So, Professor Shankar, it is a delight to be present with one of the most distinguished scientists, physicians, and pulmonologists, but that not only has traveled through the roads of science, but also literature. And this is the reason when I was asked by Professor Kushal Das who I could invite, I have 3 distinguished guests. One is Paolo Pelocci, that you just saw. Then you have Jose Antonio Carmona, which will be speaking soon from Mexico. But the presence of this distinguished man, Jorge Ordenes, with whom I will introduce at the right moment when Kushal Das, is because he's in literature. And I know you would enjoy that, because that's a cherry on the cake, Professor Shankar. We will continue to talk throughout the meeting, of course.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Professor Gustavo. Thank you very much. I will definitely ask you to introduce Professor Jorge audience just before, I think another one more, Professor Hamid Mubashiri. Professor Hamid Mubashiri from University of Tehran. Professor of Biophysics and renowned distinguished scientist, Professor of Faculty of Medicine, and also a graduate, postgraduate, and postdoctoral fellow from the University of Sussex of UK. So Professor Mubashiri, UNESCO Unit Wing Network Coordinator, International Coordinator from Tehran, head of the Tehran, Iran. Professor Mubashiri, are you here?
Yes, thank you very much. Do you hear me?
Please, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. First, I would like to thank you, Professor Kusalos, for inviting me to acknowledge the great achievement of Professor P.S. Shankar during his lifetime and his ever. So I went through his biography. I didn't know him before, but I went through all his activities and I was amazed. And to see how active one person can be, how dedicated and how much helpful to all level of education, in research and in treatment of patient one can be. It's so great to be here and to participate in acknowledging and thanking his great achievement. As you know, the things that is missing in the nowadays, it is not that much knowledge. What we are missing is ethics. Unfortunately, there are lots of scholars, lots of graduates, lots of educated people who are missing the ethics. In reality, we have to have first ethics and then knowledge, then science, and then expertise, especially in the field of medicine. As a Muslim, we believe that whoever who saves one person saves all the human beings. Whoever who saves a man can be a slave of him. Who teach a man can be a slave of him. And unfortunately, although the medical treatment should be free of charge, we are witnessing lots of people who are treating people only for money. And once the money is gone or refuse to be paid, they refuse to do the treatment. And that is terrible. That is a way, it is not a
Yeah, I guess.
Professor
Mubashiri, I got disconnected. I think. Yeah.
You hear me?
I think Professor Hamid needs more money to get good internet.
Yeah, good internet problem. I think, Professor Mubashiri, are you hearing? Okay.
Yeah, do you hear me?
Yeah, please. Yes.
Oh, it's not a matter of money. Unfortunately, it is a matter of politics. Because we have money, but because of the politics, we are not allowed to use our money. Our pocket have been zipped by foreigners, and they don't lead us to spend it by sanctions, economical sanction against us. I was saying that in medicine, treatment should be free of charge. And this is what I heard just now about the Professor Shankar of treating the poor people. That is fantastic. That is one that all the physicians, all the people, even away from the medicine, but especially in the medical field, should be aware of. At least the treatment should be free of charge, and people, and we know lots of people who have put a sign in their office saying that whoever who doesn't have the money, please ignore payment and just go away, and they don't ask anything. And that is fantastic that I see from the activity of Professor Shankar. And as I was mentioning, ethics is very important. All the youngsters who are teaching or who are learning medicine, the only thing that they have to learn first is the ethic of the teaching, ethic of the intellectual property, ethics of good research, and in ethics of dedication to mankind. And then the science will come over and complete it. But the first thing is ethics, and we are missing it all over the world. Unfortunately, it is not appreciated as such, and people are looking at the medicine as a good job because of good money or large money, but that is not right. So I do appreciate, and I thank Professor Das for inviting me. Once I heard that it is about Dr. Shankar with that many nice personalities, that much dedication, that much courage, that much knowledgeful, and think I was grateful to attend, and I even asked my colleague, very honorable person, Professor Farhood, to join us as well. Unfortunately, because of, I guess, this time difference in the changes in Iran, because of we have changed to summertime, he had another meeting, and his secretary was telling me that he will join us as soon as he can, but he was and is another meeting. But I do congratulate Professor Mudhal and BLD people because of having this sort of activities and these sort of personalities among all members of his staff who appreciate the good will and good wishes of each other instead of competing them or ignoring their activities. And it is fantastic to see how people are grateful to see another person is successful and has done very well. So it was my honor to participate, and I do congratulate Professor Shankar for his fantastic job and hope to see him as Dr. Dr. Mutha was saying, for a century of works, and I hope I live enough to see that 100 years of the activities of yours being acknowledged and celebrated too. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Mubashiri. Thank you very much for your very heartfelt of touching words towards Professor P.S. Shankar and also towards all of us here. We are really feeling everything because you have touched a point like in ethics, which is very important and touching us when we discuss many issues on UNESCO. Thank you very much, Professor Mubashiri. You be here with us. I'd like to now request Professor Gustavo. Professor Gustavo, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, I like to invite now Professor Jorge audience. Professor Jorge audience, just to say invite Professor Jorge audience. Whether he's already here?
I'm here.
Yes.
Professor,
let me
please introduce. Please introduce and let Professor address.
Yes.
Well,
go ahead.
Yes, I have to tell you that, as I was telling you before, that Professor Jorge Ordenes is a most distinguished literate in Bolivia. And he is a member of the Bolivian Academy of Literature, of course, but not only of the Bolivian Academy of Literature, he's also a member of the Spanish, from Spain, Academy of Literature. And I suggested to Professor Cusaldas that we should invite him because he is a unique personality who has such a distinguished position in our country that I think this would be a great honor for Professor Shankar, because he also is a man that has worked in medical dictionaries and he has worked in the literature. He has linked the arts with the science. And that's why I feel so honored to present Professor Jorge Ordenes, currently in Washington. He spends his time partly in Washington, partly in Bolivia, as he has worked and has retired now from the International Monetary Fund in the economics area. But dear Jorge, please give your words and show us your personality, which I brought you here to show.
Well, thank you, Gustavo. You're very kind. I think you exaggerate a bit, but I guess that's coming from you. It's very natural and also very kind. I also like to thank Professor Kusar, who has written a marvelous letter introducing Dr. Shankar, who is really a prodigious thinker and cooperated with humanity. I can tell you that from Washington, D.C., where I live, it is impressive to see the abundant display of admiration and love for Dr. Shankar, to which I certainly adhere myself. Now, literature, of course, I understand that Dr. Shankar is fun, or perhaps a fanatic of literature. One of the most important elements in any profession is imagination, to contribute with new ideas, new forms, and also new messages to not only to students, but to colleagues and also to the world. And that's what Professor Shankar has been doing. Imagination in literature, it's a command of nature. Without imagination, literature practically wouldn't exist. But thanks to nature and thanks to humans, we have literature in all languages that is exemplary to all other professions, because you certainly need imagination in medicine. And Dr. Shankar has practiced it with example and also with love, and I guess with extraordinary success, given what I hear, given the love displayed here, and given the future he has, despite the fact that he probably thinks that he has accomplished quite a bit. But no, your imagination has to continue to display what you know, and what you know is based in love. And love is the most important engine of imagination and work in any science, including medicine. But I just admire all of the speakers, the sensitivity they have in talking about Dr. Shankar, and certainly Dr. Shankar as an example in the profession, not only in medicine, but in all others, because to be loved the way you are, it's not very easy in this planet and in this age. Congratulations to you from Washington, D.C., and certainly from Latin America. Keep it up and don't dismay, because if you dismay, lots of people will collapse. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Ordens. It's a wonderful talk you have given, just as interaction. Your words are so words of wisdom. So we really just all touched our hearts. And definitely, Professor Shankar is definitely enjoyed your words from your end. Thank you very much once again for your kind presence in very early morning. I think it's a late night or very early morning, it may be. And thank you very much to you enough. Thank you, Dr. Gustavo, for inviting on our behalf a distinguished professor, a distinguished economist, and the literature laureate in this occasion. Thank you very much. We are enriched. Thank you very much. I now request. Well,
let me tell you.
Yeah, please, please go ahead.
Tell you that I am so delighted to hear his words that I know I was right to invite him to this meeting. Normally, any scientist would not have such a high distinguished literary person to honor him. So Professor Shankar and Professor Kusaldas and all of you, I'm delighted for his presence.
Thank you very much. We all are delighted of his gracious presence today in this occasion. Thank you very much. I now request Professor Jose Antonio Carmona, the distinguished neurologist from National Autonomous University Hospital, Mexico City. He's a very renowned scientist and also neuroscientist, and specifically neurocortical reasons, his work and all. And Professor Jose Antonio Carmona from Mexico. Professor Jose, oh, nice to see you again.
Thank you, Professor Kusal. It's a great pleasure to see and to hear you again.
Thank you. That's what I also enjoy.
Thank you for the invitation. Thank you. You can hear me. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect, Jose Antonio.
Yes. Thank you. I think one of the most important things in life is communication. Communication is a basic function of society. Where there is communication, there is love, there is friendship, there is teaching, learning. All the activities around the world needs communication. Where are not communication, there are conflicts like we are seeing. Communication is the basic of support of humanity. A human without communication does not exist. The time around the cities, the countries, the topics for every function of the humanity needs communications. 60 years of communication is a long, long time of service. Communication starts in the family. The family grows around the world for all the human. I know the basic function of Professor Shankar was and where and the future will be the communication. 60 years of learning and teaching needs communication. That's the reason because we are here. Without communication, the human does not exist. That is the important thing for all these people here in this moment. That's the reason because we are here. So in time of teaching our students, of teaching our friendships, we need the communication. I was thinking in the way I can remember and can honor this guy, Professor Shankar, is you have a time in your future for more communication. I think in the past, I was thinking the way that you live in India. You started step by step by step And the second time, when we was young, we started with a nice family. We started with a nice friendship. And after you get a strong muscles and strong relationships, you started to get more and more. That is love. That is the most impressive. Religions, science, all the activities and the man needs your friendships. I have a nice family, but you had also a nice heart for us. That's the reason, because we are trying to learn from you. When I met in Bolivia, Dr. Professor Cusal, I was impressive also for this guy, because he was sitting in a chair and he started with a radiance communication and service also. The future of the humanity starts in this moment, in this city, in this place, but without the honors of men like you, communication does not exist. Thank you for this moment. What I was given to Dr. Subieta, I met Dr. Subieta also in Peru. But I started to learn more. So this is important for us. Give communication of all the people around you, friendships, your mother, your science, your students, your imagination. Thank you for this moment. For me, it's nice to see you. Thank you, Professor Shankar.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jose Antonio. Thank you, Jose Antonio. Let me tell you that I'm also very happy to have brought you Professor Shankar. Jose Antonio has been working many years in neurocritical science, and he has worked with the brain very, very closely. So now he is producing communication from his brain.
Yes. He's a very lovely man. And I remember Professor Carmoni that when he actually supported me in wheelchair, I was there in Lake Titicaca in the ship. So he was literally holding my wheelchair and pushing me here. I can't forget you, Professor Carmoni, that you have done that for me. And you remember me so far as a wonderful. Thank you very much. A wonderful talk you have given and the beautiful message to Professor P.S. Shankar. And really your presence is greatly honored by all of us. Thank you very much, Professor Kamuri. So next I will Shireen Fernando. Professor Shireen Fernando of University of Colombo, Faculty of Medicine, former Dean. Professor Shireen?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Professor Shireen, please speak a few words about our Indian legend.
Yeah. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to join with you when you're celebrating the life and work of a legend, Professor P.S. Shankar. I'm indeed delighted and honored to be a part of this occasion. When Professor Kusaldas invited me as a guest of honor, I was wondering what my connection with a legend of this nature. But I know we have a very long and a friendly relationship with India. And I'm also amazed to see the diversity of roles that you have played in this 60 years of contributing as a teacher, medical educator, clinician, scientist, author of books, social worker, administrator, and a mentor, and even to literature. So even within these multiple roles, what amazed me most was the diversity within each of those. I could see that you have written on tuberculosis, medical dictionary, clinical examination. So within each of those roles, there are a lot of diversity, which I think is a great example to all of us. And I'm sure that variety would be the spice of life. So as many of the other speakers and your own students, I'm sure they would have flavored this diversity, your commitment, and the love that you showed everybody. I'm sure will take you and give you happiness in years to come. I was a bit taken aback when the first speaker said that you started your career in '62, the year I was born. So I'm really amazed that you have contributed this amount and we are still able to get in connection with you. I have promised Kusal Das that someday I will come very soon this year to Karnataka. I hope I'll get to meet you, sir.
Fine.
And
thank you.
also, yeah, I look forward to that. I'm hoping to come this year. Look forward to that and wish you, and we pray that you will have many more years of life to contribute. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Shri, for excellent words. And Professor Shri is also, she was the former and the president of South Asian Association of Physiologists, of which now I am holding the chair of presidency. So Sharon was earlier to me, she holds this position. She's a very distinguished physiologist and medical scientist as such, in research and as well as medical education as a dean of faculty. So yes, thank you very much. Your kind words, Professor Sharon, we are honored. Now I request Dr. A.M. Ramesh, CEO of KSTA. Sir, you please speak a few words about your colleagues, friends, and senior mentor of KSTA, Dr. P.S. Shankar.
Good evening, sir. Really, I'm honored to be present on this occasion. First of all, hearty congratulations to our mentor, Nadoja, legendary physician, Dr. P.S. Shankar, sir, Emeritus Professor of Rajiv Gandhi University, for fruitful 6 decades of service, illustrious service to our own state, not only in medical field, but also in science communication. I must compliment Professor Kushal Das for organizing such a befitting tribute to the legend on this momentous day. I have known Professor Shankar for more than 1.5 decades, since when he became the esteemed member of KST in 2005. He has been our guide and mentor since 1.5 decades. Sir is not only a renowned physician, but as you know, he is a well-known science writer. He has written more than 150 books in English and Kannada. In 2007, when KSTA was contemplating to start a Kannada science magazine, the one name that came from all the members of KSTA was that of Dr. Shankar sir, because everybody knew about his meticulous punctuality and commitment to the work, which are his very hallmark qualities. He has been editing our science magazine, Kannada Science Magazine, since 2007, and it is being published without break since then. He is a very enthusiastic and passionate person. If we mail him or send a message to him, instantaneously we get his reply. I must say, Professor Shankar is one of the esteemed member who is responsible for making KSTA a well-known institute in the state today. He is a role model for all of us. It has always been a pleasure to work with Professor Shankar sir. As somebody told, he has worked in diverse fields. Even when we have some issues or problems, I seek the guidance of Professor Shankar sir in science communication. We look forward to your continued support and guidance, sir. As our honorable chairman told, sir has been, sir, we look forward to Dr. Shankar sir's service for another 100 years for the benefit of our society. And one thing that always Professor Shankar says is, busy person will find time for everything. So he makes others also to work to his speed whenever a task is given. And on this occasion, I thank Professor Das sir for providing me to tell a few words about Professor Shankar, the legend. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ramesh, for your kind presence and kind words towards Professor P.S. Shankar, a legend of medicine in India. Thank you very much. Now I request Dr. Sangram Biradar, Professor Sangram Biradar, Professor of Medicine, MR Medical College, Gulbarga, and also Professor P.S. Shankar's own student, and in the same discipline, internal medicine, Professor Sangram Biradar, sir. Professor Sangram Biradar, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thanks for inviting me for this prestigious, wonderful program which you have carried out. My association with Dr. P.S. Shankar, sir, was from the past 41 years, probably 4 decades, as an undergraduate student, a postgraduate student, and later on worked as a faculty in the same department. He's a very highly disciplined and a master teacher and a teacher par excellence, loved by whole student fraternity. His students are all over the world practicing medicine. So popular and a multifaceted man, often compared to a medical encyclopedia and always called as Bhishma Pitama in our own physicians community. There is no replacement for him and his work and dedication. He has translated whole medicine into Kannada language. I being one of the lucky students to be trained under him. The moment we all tell we are from Gulbarga, the whole medical fraternity remembers, oh, you are from Dr. Shankar's place. So he is recognized first, then our recognition starts. That is how Gulbarga is in the world map in the medical education now. I sincerely appreciate the contribution of teaching and writing books of his clinical medicines. Till now, the undergraduates take to the everyday wards, learn out of the clinical medicines books what he has written. And the secret of his health being, he looks like how fresh and active he is now, the same way when I saw him 40 years back. So I should thank Dr. Das for giving me this opportunity. But if I will be failing in my duty, if I don't remember my close friend and mentor, Dr. M.S. Biradar, who was a very pertinent about Dr. P.S. Shankar also. The moment, every time we used to discuss about Dr. Shankar, you have a great teacher, you have Gulbarga people are lucky enough, you have a great teacher, so why can't you send such people? So all the time, every day, we used to discuss about Dr. Das. In fact, Dr. Das and Dr. M.S. Biradar, I used to say, were the both sides of the coin. As far as science is concerned, scientific is concerned, I think it was his moral support which made me so this thing, so that I could have participated, I could have met everybody. The only way he was for science, for the association, for the clinics, for you. So all credit goes to Dr. Kushal Das for making such a good, thought-provoking tribute to Dr. Shankar. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much, Professor Sangram Biradar, for your remarkable remarks.
Kindly unmute, sir, unmute.
Yeah, I'm unmuted. Am I audible?
Yeah, yes. Yes, you are.
Unmute, not audible.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you very much, Professor Shankar. Am I audible, no?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Professor Sangram Biradar. Yes, your kind remarks on Professor P.S. Shankar. As a student, you know more than others. You and Dr. Tejashini here knows more than others what Dr. Professor P.S. Shankar is. Definitely, that your talk, your words are definitely touched our hearts, and definitely we are happy that you are here with us. And also you remember even my mentor, Professor M.S. Biradar sir. So who is no more with us, but we are very happy. We are missing him, no doubt, but we are also carrying forward for the looking forward in forward direction. Now I request Professor Tejaswini Vallabha, Madam, you have read her biography, his biography, Professor P.S. Shankar biography. Now you say a few words on, as a student, what you had experience. You have experience with Professor P.S. Shankar. Madam Tejaswini.
Definitely, sir. I would like to share few experiences, rather, I would tell. I think, to my knowledge, now I am also about to almost retire, but we are yet to see a teacher like him. And believe me or no, we were more than 100 in our class. He would call us by name, each and every one of us, and not my own batch. It was for applicable to each and every student of MRMC, if we were aware. That was one of the most important characters which brought us, which made us to respect him a lot. Getting recognized by a very, very senior professor. He was our principal then. First job when sir took up as a dean and principals of our MR Medical College, we were all fresh undergraduates at getting full attention of sir. We were some privileged ones who got really a lot of attention from him. He ensured our basic comforts, which were essential. And one of his biggest characters then I remember was involving us directly into our day-to-day administration and affairs, which was something which we really relished, and till date, we acknowledge and try to follow him. If some of us are doing something here and there under his guidance, we still acknowledge and remember that how sir used to take us into confidence and do the needful. And I don't remember him threatening us or getting angry on us any day in my 4.5 years of undergraduation in Gulbarga. He remembered each and everything about each child. That was one of his biggest characters. And I still vividly remember one small example I'll tell you. We also then had the same exam pattern, ophthalmology, ENT, and community medicine. And believe me, he had, before we used to know our results, by the time it reached the principal's office, he used to go through and then call us personally and discuss our results. I don't think any one of us are really doing that. He simply asked me casually, Yakama, you did very well in ENT and community medicine. What made you not to really do well in the ophthalmology? Then we did not have that inhibition of not talking to our teachers. We believed they are our family and our guides. So I clearly told sir, these were the things which I felt I wasn't very comfortable when I wrote. And such events used to be repeated. Without our knowledge, our apprehensions, our difficulties were sorted out without we knowing. Any difficulty in the classes, any small uncomfortable interactions during our different teaching sessions, without our knowledge, by the time we went back to the department, were settled. So there are so many implicit disciplines which he had followed and the personal care which he used to deliver. I think it is unbelievable and uncomparable. That's all I can tell. And encouraged us wholeheartedly to progress in our life. I find it difficult to express everything what we have experienced during under him in the 4.5 years. Later on, I did not have the chance to work under him as a postgraduate, but yes, all my friends still acknowledge it.
Thank you very much, madam. Thank you very much for your beautiful words towards your mentor, your teacher, and the legendary Dr. P.S. Shankar. Thank you very much. Now the last two is there that I will invite Dr. Lata Mullu and Dr. Nitin Agarwal. So first, Dr. Lata Mullu, just two minutes, you just interact with Professor P.S. Shankar. Both of them are actually my student. One is undergraduate student whom I taught medicine in undergraduation. Other is my PhD student who awarded PhD under my supervision. So both of you. First, over to Lata first. Dr. Lata. Dr. Lata, Professor of Physiology.
Thank you so much, sir. First of all, my namaskar to P.S. Shankar, sir. I had heard a lot about you from all my teachers. All my teachers are your students, sir. I am student of your student. So I have been grown in this medical field listening to you, sir. Professor Tejaswini Vallabha madam is here. Dr. Sangram, sir, who was my PhD examiner. And in this occasion, I would like to remember Dr. M.S. Biradar sir, who was my mentor, philosopher. He was very fatherly figure in all the aspects. I have learned a lot from him in medicine, and every time he used to teach, they have told us a lot about you, sir, and I have read some of your books which you have translated in Kannada. You have written, which are very easy for the patients to understand. So I have gone through some of your books, and also medicine practical book. We always followed your book, sir, which was very easy to understand and very helpful for all of us. Sir, I have done my PhD under Professor Kusal Das, sir. So who is again the fatherly figure here and always take care as his own children and guides us. And I am very much thankful to making me part of this event where illustrious people are there. I am coming across so many legendary people here. So I have worked during PhD. I worked on cardiovascular disease patients. Especially my focus was on calcium and vitamin D, sir. So we try to evaluate, correlate, any deficiency of this vitamin, how it can, mechanism we try to establish, sir. So I just want your guidance, like how to go about further for making the translation research in this particular field where we can help the people. Like most of Indian people, like even across the world, vitamin deficiency is very common. That is the one thing I want to know from you, sir. And apart from that, I heard you like all-rounder personality. So even as a teacher, how to go about, sir? Because I'm very passionate in teaching students also. So few words of advice from you, sir, I would like to hear.
Sure.
Professor P.S. Shankar.
Say, after all, the interest which you have got is the most important thing for anything, whether the activity or the duty is small or big, is immaterial. So one has to put one's heart and the head both together for that work. So for the people, definitely you have to encourage and you have to guide them properly what the type of food which they have to, because not all things will be cured by only medicine. It should be the advice, what the lifestyle which they have to have and where they can get all these things in, through the food with the naturally. After all, we go along with the nature. So that's why one of the important things. And about the teaching, definitely the interest. Nowadays, I find the interest is dwindling. Slowly, people are not interested. Or because there are many other ways, they would think that I can learn things. It is not so. The teacher always has got an important role, and the teacher should teach the student, create interest in that one. That's how one has to do. See, when I prepare a slide, let us say 10 years back, I will update it. Now and then new things are added. My slide, what was there in 1990, now 2022 is quite different because we are adding things. So it can't be static. So teacher is always a student, like he's a lifelong student. So we have to add new things and create interest. Say the dull things nobody likes. And we have to create, so tell some stories, some anecdotes. So then make it interesting.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, just one more thing I want to know. Apart from this teaching and treating the patients, any other interests you have in your life? Academic, extracurricular?
Varieties of things. I did the journal. I am editing the journal of the Science Academy from past 15 years. I did journals of the Rajiv Gandhi University, both English and Kannada. Another journal from Delhi from 1998. So these activities are going. For the Karnataka Medical Council, I did their practitioner series, 20 practitioner series we have brought out. So we do that one. I travel a lot. I advise the many institutions in Mumbai. I go to Bangalore, the university work. Belgaum I go. And Vijayapura, I remember, because Vijayapura, which is organizing in 1977, when BM Patil was alive, and he had organized my cell station at that time. After 48 years, for 45 years. Then your institution, when it came, I was the chairman of the affiliation committee. So I also was the chairman for Alamin. Then through the court, they ordered that the same committee should show. And I visited and I gave this institution at that time. So whatever that institution today, it has grown so much. I was also a little contribution in the initial stage I have done.
Thank you very much.
Really a big list of things you are doing.
Yes,
I really wonder how you manage. Time management is like so important. Nowadays, people say I am busy, I don't have time. But
people is not interested, he will tell no time.
Yes, sir. Yes, that's what. That's what I want to learn from you, sir. Like to managing so many things. And thank you so much, sir. It was wonderful interacting with you.
Lata,
Thank
you are
Professor.
blessed. You are blessed. You are blessed
Yes.
by Professor P.S. Shankar.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I now request the last speaker, that is Dr. Nitin Agarwal. Dr. Nitin Agarwal is MD in internal medicine. He was my former student in MBBS. Dr. Agarwal.
So good evening to everyone and Dr. P.S. Shankar, sir. Sir, I must be the most junior here to talk, and all my teachers are your students, sir. I started reading your book, the Manual of Clinical Methods, in my undergraduate days. I was so much impressed because the simplicity in which it was written, I could understand from my second year of MBBS, which is not really possible with most international authors. We as Indians sometimes feel difficulty in learning, but your book made so much things very simpler, and we could learn the clinical skills. And when I met you first time in your guest lectures in KLE Belgaum in my post-graduation, I was so much amazed by the personality you had, and the teaching. Really, we still feel that we should come and attend the lectures whenever you are giving a lecture. It will be an honor, sir. Today I am a clinician, and the days have changed. We rely more on investigation, but since our undergraduate days, because of your books and your teaching, we still follow those clinical skills to diagnose many of the diseases. And we already know most of the diseases before the investigation just because of teachers like you, sir. I'm really very glad that we had teachings from you and your books. And I still read the clinical methods, and especially the tuberculosis, sir. Any pulmonology case, I always prefer the teaching which you have done to us, sir. And I'm still surprised that the way we were progressing for cure of tuberculosis and eradication, still we are lagging behind. I would like to know, sir, what we can do to eradicate the tuberculosis, where we missed this thing, where we now have MDR, XDR, TB because of varied regions. How can we come over it, and what is your input in further guidance to us, sir, for treating tuberculosis and eradicating it?
No, tuberculosis is a disease which can be controlled. Definitely it can be controlled because of the treatment which many physicians are the doctors following, or his own method he is following. Yesterday I was telling that each one has got his own method of treatment of tuberculosis. See, there are guidelines. After all, India has given important contributions to the growth and development of tuberculosis. One is the domiciliary treatment. One can stay in the home and eat the same food with what others are taking and take the treatment. Second, intermittent chemotherapy. And thirdly, the short course chemotherapy. If one adopts a short course chemotherapy, adhere to the treatment, definitely we can cut down the spread of the disease. Each person who is diagnosed as tuberculosis, nowadays it is a notifiable disease. Even the doctor will get money for that one. If he notifies to the government, such and such person is suffering from tuberculosis, definitely he is also being given incentive for that one. And the person has to be regular in that one, treatment. That is the most important mistake which people are having. Suppose in 1 month treatment, he will improve, he will stop the treatment. We have to stress that the necessity of initial intensive treatment, which we have to do. Then subsequently 4 months, we have to maintenance therapy, which we have to give to him. And what is happening, many doctors will give the moment a person is having fever or anything, without diagnosing whether it is due to tuberculosis, they will give drugs like fluoroquinolones quite frequently and make the organism resistant. So this is one, the education of not only the patient, but also the doctors is very vital in this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Professor P.S. Shankar. Now we have come to the end. And now I just request Professor P.S. Shankar, before handing over to Professor B.G. Mulimuni sir to preside over the presidential remark. Professor P.S. Shankar sir, you please say a few words to us. You just bless us.
Thank you very much. Thanks for all the people who have showered on me and they have praised about my work. And whatever work I have done with all my head and heart, I have done right from childhood. Childhood itself, I studied and I didn't learn alphabets. I straight away start writing words like Master Venkatesh Shankar, Anna Krishna Rao, like that. So then I studied in a small place like Chitradurga, where I had my education. And afterwards I went to Mysore and did my MBBS course. And at that time, the government of India came to my rescue because all of us, the poverty stricken, and they were giving 100 rupees as the monthly scholarship. And that was enough for us at that time. I could save 10, 20 rupees. And then afterwards, after doing education, then I, at the end, what to do? I often tell God will open a door sometimes. So then government of India invited applications for the postgraduate course. So postgraduate course, they were giving 250 rupees. I went to Delhi and they also guide the Professor R. Vishwanathan on the Dian of the Chess Disease of the country. I was under him, I was trained. Later, of course, Professor Scadding, Professor John Crafton in London and Edinburgh. Then in America also I studied. But basically I had that one. And after doing that one, I came and joined the medical college in Bangalore and later Hubli and Gulbarga, like that. And wherever I have worked with all sincerity, honesty. I quite often write that in Bangalore also, from morning 8 o'clock to 6 o'clock we were there. Our boss himself used to never ask, he used to ask, have you seen the patients? Yes. When my assistant is there, I need not worry. And all the people, whenever we go, Gurudas, radiologists, because you are coming, I am doing this investigation. So we are all, because of our devotion and the work, and even I did an autopsy in the world. Then nowadays nobody can do it. In 1962, one of the patients whom we had treated so much, and the people who are his brothers permitted, you can half an hour you can do. So in one stroke, I had to cut and take out the kidney, liver, and the spleen. And ultimately it was proven as a lupus nephropathy in 1964. So that's how the devotion with a great interest and the ethics. One of the speakers told about the ethics, all the time ethical. I have never touched a single paisa from a patient till this one. All the hospital itself, the poverty-stricken patients, everything. And any person, our students, whether the undergraduate or a postgraduate, if we neglect his duty, we are very furious. And they, whether it's a rich or a poor, it's immaterial. Quite often people tell, no, I am very poor, please say. I have never asked whether you're rich or poor. Only your complaint is the most important thing, and with the devotion we treat. And at the same time, I was the interest in writing, right from childhood I had. I used to write handwritten magazines I used to bring. Then Karnataka University used to publish our extension lectures. Then English books, when I went to England, then returned back, I wrote on the reminiscences of London, which was, the foreword was written by no less than a person by Shivram Karan. He wrote on that one. The chest medicine I did, and chest medicine 50 years now, that book, and all the people corrected. And in 82, I went to Italy, to Bologna as a Rockefeller scholar, and I was writing the book. The main purpose was to write a book on tuberculosis. Then when Anne Middleton, she was a professor of English in Berkeley University, I asked her whether you would like to correct me this one. Because each day we used to do, and one of the person, he said that you are writing every day like this, and you have cut hold of a person, and he said that you are writing this book every day, 1 page or 5 pages like that. And she corrected with whole book was ready. And when I came back, Professor K.L. Rao, the son-in-law of Radhakrishnan, he wrote the foreword for that book. And like that, many persons have helped. And then journals. I edited journals. Right? In Mumbai, I was there. The Lung India I edited. Indian Society of Clinical Pharmacology journal I edited. Then KLE University journals I edited. Then Rajiv Gandhi University journals I am doing. KSTA, the Vignan Loka I am doing in Canada. So these journals are routine and methodical. Now already the March issue, the next issue is May. May is ready, and July issue also is ready. So I plan earlier, and I don't take last minute. See, earlier I have many people, small functions, they organize, oh, I am very busy, very busy. I tell them, I have organized the single-handed of 2 presidents of India, 1 prime minister of India, and the governor. I have single-handed, I have done. Even a cricket match, I organized 1 match where everyone in the country, Gavaskar, Tendulkar, everyone came to Gulbarga, and we organized such things. And with only interest, devotion, you take the interest in that one. Then only the things will happen. Many people will want immediate result. Say in practice, they think in 1 year they must build a big house, a big lot of money like that. It is not. See, your life should be satisfied. One of the important things I often tell my wife and my children, they are also great contributors, because without them, many people, they are suffering because of no support, and their family, the children are this one. So I am blessed. I have a good wife, good children, good grandchildren, and I have never been this affected. So that also gives the peace in that one. I travel a lot. It's to go to Mumbai. Only 2 days back I went after 2 years. Every week, every month I used to go Bangalore and Mumbai. Pondicherry I used to go. I was a guide for them. So now 2 years Corona I had stopped, and the other day I went to Mumbai and began the links. And Pondicherry I used to go to Bangalore, have a program, then travel in bus to Pondicherry. One of the institutions, one of the vice chancellor was accompanying. I was a affiliation committee chairman. He asked the board of studies, the chairman of that medical college, why don't you take the help of him? Your college will improve. So the moment he told, he was after me. So I used to travel all the way to Pondicherry and guide every month, and then come back to Chennai to Hyderabad to Gulbarga. This is how I used to do. For 5 years I did like that. So with the interest, we have to do that. Whether the work is small or big, it's immaterial. The devotion with which you do, ethical values, that's the most important we have to have. Good communication. So many people have helped me in life. They are not our relatives, nor my religion, nor community, or a caste. So they are all students. Many students love. Why they love? Because we have got for everyone very secular. All students are equal. Whether it is Y.S. Rajshekhar Reddy, the chief minister who was chief minister of Andhra Pradesh, or any other small this one, they are all equal to me. The students are given a lot of love and affection and praise, and I am very lucky in that. And I have taught the interest. I have never let it go. All the time I study I am up to date in that one. Even the questions I ask, even many times, Dr. R.D. Lele used to ask, you ask the questions, I will sit as by the side. Your questions are so interesting. And quite often people find it difficult to answer. So like that, we create interest. So you will have, by going to conferences, my contacts with so many people. I was in a small place in Gulbarga. I was going for PG examination in Chandigarh, and also the DM examinations from a small place. And during the I used to tell, look, in 1981, when our postgraduate course first time examination took place, people like the Trivangadam and Krishnaraj, they travel all the way from Chennai and Trivandrum to Gulbarga by train. Nowadays, even a youngster, he asks, is there an airport there? Is there a 5-star hotel? Is there? Like that. They ate in my house. They were very happy. And they at that time. So these are our personal rapport on the communication. Rustom Jal Wakil, I knew very well. So we had contact with the people whenever we used to conferences, all the people. And once I remember, those days, one of the distinguished lecture I had to deliver, for which a signature required, Shantilal Shah, he immediately, without knowing it, what it is, he signed and gave. So I delivered the Umarani Banerjee oration of CSI, one of the prestigious oration. So like that, I had a lot of contact. Even I used to go to Bhopal for after Bhopal gas tragedy. So we used to help. I went to Latur with the moment the earthquake took place. We went to Bhuj. They contact like that. We established a foundation. Through that one, 10 students are getting every year 1,500 rupees we have made per month. Totally for 54 months, they are 81,000 rupees. And poverty is the most important criteria. We give them, help them, and also publish the books, establish libraries, honored a distinguished person who had done society, something to the society, or person who has written book. So all these things gives life an enjoyment and fulfillment also is there. So I am very grateful. Professor Kushal Das has organized this particular program, making an international program. I am highly honored. I am highly grateful to you and to the BLDE University, Professor Mulimani, who is always a guiding force with all the encouragement, all the time he gives when he was in Gulbarga, and then Vijayapura, Dharwad. Now he is coming back to Bidar. We will have more interaction. I am really happy. Professor Ayappan is all the time is helpful, and all the organic people in and around, they are all good to me, and life is good, and I am really blessed. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor P.S. Shankar, sir. It's a great honor that you are here with us, and we did nothing. We just invite some of our friends in the different part of the world to just have an interact with you, know about you. So that's the perspective is very small, and I'm very thankful to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. R.S. Mudal, sir, and our Dean, Dr. Arvind Patil, sir, and definitely all the people of the UNESCO Chair, Life Sciences, Professor Aidapetian, Professor Ayappan, of the KSTA, and all the distinguished UNESCO members and the distinguished professor here. And now I hand over the last part of this. This is the presidential remark by Professor B.G. Mulimani. After that, the citation will be given to you by our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor R.S. Mudal, sir. Over to Professor B.G. Mulimani, sir, for presidential remark.
Professor Das, Professor Gustav is not talking, or what happened?
Yes, I am here. I'm listening.
Yeah, we have missed you.
Dr. Mulimani, so wonderful to see you. You know, I have the most beautiful memories when we met you and Professor Biradar in front of the BLDE.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So,
yes, Professor.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch it. Can I show something to Professor Shankar right now? Share my screen.
Yeah, just if it is just to take only 1 or 2 minutes.
No. This is just 5 seconds.
Okay, show it. Go ahead.
5 seconds. Because I want to tell Professor Shankar, I heard he traveled a lot. So now is the time to come to the other side of the world during this meeting that we will have in October 2022 jointly with BLDE University, Laval University, the Bolivian Army, and some other universities and centers. So Professor Shankar, I have seen you speak with great lucidity, and that all your activities have maintained your neurons highly active. I think that you need to be exposed to a little hypoxia to stimulate more thoughts. And so please come to our meeting. We will be greatly honored. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Professor Gustavo. Thank you, Professor Gustavo. Over to presidential remark by Professor B.G. Mulimani. Okay.
Thank you very much, Professor Kushal Das. It's an honor for me to kind of summarize what these greats have expressed their opinion about Professor Shankar. Really a legend in the country, or for that matter, he can be called a doctor of the universe, doctor of the whole world. Professor Shankar, everybody remembers a great doctor, educationist, science popularizer, literary person, service to society, philanthropy, wonderful teacher, scholar, researcher, educational administrator, whatnot, all in one. What is expected of a real so-called good doctor in the 21st century? That's very important, and Dr. Shankar is a role model for everybody, not only in India, from abroad. And let me just remind, what was said by Professor Patil. That is the crux of the matter, Point is, world has seen COVID-19, a kind of virus, what you call, and world is seeing now war virus. Professor Patil re-emphasized the importance of education for friendship, because education is a powerful tool, friendship across the nations, friendship for collaboration and research the way it's going on, then only people can be happy. He referred to war in Ukraine. I can make out what was in his mind. In his mind was, he often referred about this war. All of us remember about concentration camps. All of us remember what happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Humans can be anything. But what he emphasized, what others emphasized, apart from the knowledge, what we need is wisdom. Everybody emphasized what we need is ethics. That's the very important thing. And Professor Shankar, in his reply, appropriately said it should be a lifelong learning, curiosity, and, interest in literature. Professor from America emphasized, nowadays what is happening is, even if you look at National Education Policy 2020, it's not enough if you are just a medical doctor. They have to interact with literary persons. They have to be aware of the studies in humanities, music, and all those things, because speakers after speakers talked about love, needed love, humanity. That's the essence of the whole thing. So doing something for humanity, that is very much needed. And doing, and he said, Professor Shankar, doing always something special. That is Shankar's specialty, always something special, like the father of Professor Gustav. And he also again said, Russia is creating a mess in the world. That is what is needed, because we are stuck with leaders, misguided leaders with guided missiles. And it is essential that this program today, Professor Kushal Das, it is a UNESCO program for culture, science, many other things. And this program has brought together particularly all the scientists on one platform to show that what matters is friendship, what matters is communication with trust to save the world, ultimately to serve the humanity. And everybody, in a way, if I have to summarize about Professor Shankar, he's a medical magnet, as they use in medical terminology, medical magnet who attracts institutions, he attracts the students, he attracts the public, he is everything. And that is what is needed of a doctor in this 21st century. And for me, this program belonging to UNESCO is like a candle in the dark for a war-torn world. And we need Professor Shankar, as he emphasized, whenever there was any disaster in the country, he rushed in. That's the quality of doctors. That's very much important, wherever it may be in Ukraine, it may be in Latur, it may be in Rajasthan, anywhere. That is what Professor Shankar emphasized, and he's doing it. It's amazing. So that too, all this he achieved, let me emphasize, by being in a backward region of the state, Kalyan, Karnataka. One need not worry about the facilities. It is not the facilities which make a good doctor. It is not the facilities which make a medical magnet. It is what Shankar said, hard work, dedication, devotion, all those qualities are required. So that is what Professor Shankar is. And others also have said, Professor Shankar, as Professor Ayappan emphasized, science and society, medical science and society, medical science in society. These are the kinds of things. And as MEP, maybe Professor Shankar has to guide in future, medical education be offered only in the university setup, because there will be other faculties, humanities, social sciences, other things. So medical education is both an art and a science. That's needed. So interaction is possible in the university setup, and we need persons of the caliber, quality of Professor Shankar who can guide us, because his dynamism is amazing. I have witnessed it when I was in Gulbarga. Amazing. Once I called Professor Shankar, I'm going to come for a few minutes to you. You don't believe me. Within 4 minutes, he was in Vice Chancellor's room on my campus. That is the kind of person Professor Shankar is there, always on the move to do something, achieve something. He's really just more than a role model. And another thing, he is in a backward region. He achieved so much thing. And we are thinking of future, 21st century, where technology is going to be important. And Professor Pelosi rightly said, technology cannot replace the teacher. And that's what Shankar is standing for. Technology is needed, no doubt about it, but definitely it cannot replace a teacher. So that is what Shankar has shown it. It can be done. So with these few things, I would say Professor Shankar has lived and living a meaningful, creative, fulfilled life. And there is a lesson for all of us, the students, teachers, public, and all those things. We can never forget his contribution. And Professor Kushal Das, you have done a great thing by introducing Professor Shankar to the world. We are proud of Professor Shankar, what one can do in small places. And that you have done, I congratulate you. And let us remember, in this volatile world, Professor Abdul Salam, he established International Center for Theoretical Physics in Italy. It is funded by UNESCO. There, scientists from all over the world, smallest country, come there. And Abdul Salam said, scientific thought is the common heritage of mankind. That is what Shankar stands for. I wish him many more years of health, happiness, and creativity. Thank you very much, Professor Kushal Das, for giving me this opportunity. Let us continue such programs. It's a wonderful program. I really salute Professor Shankar on this occasion. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor B.G. Mulimuni, sir, for your remarkable presidential remarks here. And you have touched almost all the important points, what actually the inner soul of the whole today's nearly 2-hour discussions. You have touched that souls. And Professor P.S. Shankar is a legend. And UNESCO actually chair life sciences honor to just to make this honor today for just to remember his works and also to introduce him and other people more than him, other people to introduce to him that who is our Indian great legend of medicine. Yes. I thank to my all UNESCO UNESCO colleagues, Professor Scenery Kaidipitian, the UNESCO chairholder himself, and Professor Hamid Mobashiri, Professor Gustavo, Professor Pelosi, all the people, Professor Jose Antonio, and Professor Jorge, all the people here. And last one, after that will be completely shut down and will be closed the ceremony. That is the honor, that is a certificate, the honor of the UNESCO Chair Life Sciences will be handed over to him by our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. R.S. Mudhol sir. Over to Professor R.S. Mudhol sir. Please upload the slides. Professor R.S. Mudhol sir.
Sir, it is my honor to hand over this certificate to legendary teacher P.S. Shankar sir on behalf of the UNESCO Life Science and also on behalf of the BLDE University. I'm happy to hand over to you, sir. It will go in the long memory of your human service to the humanity. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for the honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Professor P.S. Shankar sir, I will send it, the hard copy to you by post. Professor Ayappan sir, you are here. It's wonderful that you are at the end. You are still here with us, Professor Gustavo and all the people whom I am able to see. Professor Mudhol sir, you are here for a long time and you have honored us as a chief guest today and handing over the UNESCO certificate the honor to Professor P.S. Shankar sir. I will send you the soft copy by email and hard copy by post it will go. Thank you very much. And I once again thanks to all of you for your kind presence.
A standing ovation for Dr. Shankar.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Ayappan sir, for that. It's
Thank
a great honor for all of you with us here today. Thank you very much on behalf of the UNESCO Chair Life Sciences and the UNESCO Unity Network. We all the UNESCO shareholders are actually congratulating Professor P.S. Shankar to receive the honor of the certificate, the honor. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice day. With the permission of the President. Professor Mudhol sir, do you want to say something?
Nothing, sir. We thank everybody joining the wonderful program. I think our friendship, all the things will go across the world to see such a legendary people on such a nice program. And once again, I salute everybody on behalf of the BLD University. And once again, I wish all the good life to Shankar sir. Let him guide us further in BLD University also, in UNESCO Life Science also, in all other universities, sir. Your advice, your everything is required for us. Bless us on this occasion. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Anytime. You are available.
Thank you. We will share the YouTube link to every one of you. We will share the YouTube link of today's program. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
With the permission of Professor B.G. Mulemuni sir, I can conclude the session now. Thank you, sir.
Professor Gustav, we'll see you again.
Thank you.
Yes, thank
See
you.
you, everybody.
It's wonderful to see all of you.
Yes.
I will visit you in India in the next future.
Yes, sure, Professor.
Professor Shankar, I will stay with you the next year, probably. The people are coming. Thank you for all. India is a nice country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Cardamone. Thank you very much. We will meet you again.
Thank you, Professor Das, and have a nice time, all of you.
Thank you, Professor Mubashiri. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Splendid words, Dr. Mulimani.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
We are closing.